Hello everyone, Shinto Bean here playing some more Warhammer combat cards. Now I got a request to talk about some of the more useful or better cards in the game. And that is no easy task because there are 354 cards in my collection. And there are more cards that I haven't unlocked yet. So there's far too much to cover in a single video. So what I'm going to do is start a series where I go faction by faction and just go through my collection and talk about the cards that I like using. This is just based on my experience. Of course, I don't consider myself an expert, so just remember, my word is not gospel. But yeah, for this video, I will be starting off with the Tyranids. I like the Tyranids very much. I haven't really been playing them that much in ranked, though, so I don't think they've ever gotten to even the top 3 factions in ranked mode for myself. But they are a lot of fun to play as. Of the Warlords at the top, actually before I get into that, let's just take a quick scroll through here. And you can see which cards that I have prioritized when upgrading. Anything that's green here means I have not upgraded it. I'm able to, but have chosen not to. So yeah, a lot of the more powerful cards up here at the top have been fully upgraded as far as I can go. Anyway, so with the Warlords, we got 3 options here. We got the Hive Tyrant. Now this guy is very expensive to field, and so I haven't actually used him very much, simply because I can't use as many of the bodyguards that I'd like to with him. He is very powerful, though. Definitely the strongest Warlord stats-wise. There's the Turbagon here. This guy I also have not really used very much. I think he's really cool. The model is amazing. And the special rule is definitely unique and interesting. It spawns infinite Termagants. The problem with this guy is the matches just take a really long time with him, because you're just redeploying that weak Termagant. And, you know, the matches take long enough as it is, so I haven't really used that guy very much. My favorite Tyranid Warlord here is Gosar. I think he has the most fun special rule. It just buffs your melee units throughout the battle, so by the end they're dealing massive damage. And it's just, yeah, a lot of fun to play as. So I'm just going to go down the line here. At the top we have the strongest monstrous creatures in the Tyranid arsenal. My favorite out of the top 4 here is the Mawloc. This thing is the strongest melee monster, and you can see its first 2 upgrades are melee. So yeah, it ramps up to 76 damage, base damage, very quickly, and it can one-shot all kinds of enemy bodyguards, so it's a lot of fun to use. Recently I have started using the Carnifex a little more. I don't think it's really that great of a card. It just doesn't do a whole lot of damage until it's a really high level, and Taunt is kind of an underwhelming trait, I feel like, but yeah, at higher levels the Carnifex is kind of fun to use. Moving on to the next row here, got some powerful ranged units. The Hive Crone is a ton of damage for its cost, but it is a little bit weak in terms of health, so if you're not careful, it can get blasted out of the sky pretty quickly. Compare that to the Exocrine, which is much tougher. It has shield as a trait and a much higher health pool, and can dish out quite a bit of damage, but it is a little bit expensive. This is a more recent addition to the Swarm. It's the only Tyranid bodyguard with Inspiring Presence, I believe. It's pretty fun to use at level 3. I don't know if I'd really list it as one of the better ones, though. It is a legendary card. Moving on, we got the Tyranid Warriors. This is a melee heavy one, and this is a more well-rounded one with a stronger ranged attack. Both of those are pretty decent, but they can get shot down pretty quickly. Don't have the most health there. This is an interesting card, actually, because when it was first released, it was really overpowered for its cost. It was super strong. But then they nerfed it into oblivion by basically doubling the points cost. And since then, it hasn't really been very good. Recently, they gave it the Berserk trait, so I haven't really seen that in action yet. I'll have to take a look at that, though. Moving on to the next row. I personally like this Lictor quite a bit when using it with Gosar. The trait Scout buffs your melee attack, and it's got pretty good stats for its cost. And this Psyker here, the Magus, if you could only have one Psychic unit in your deck, I would choose this one. I mean, she's got pretty good stats and also an interesting combination of Psychic and Poison. So, pretty good card there. Moving down the line, I don't really use the Tyranid Psykers that much. So yeah, I haven't really been upgrading them a whole lot. The Sanctus here actually got buffed quite a bit in the last patch, so you can see it has very good stats for its very low cost there. Also with the Gene Stealer cult, we have the Keller Morph. This also got a pretty good buff, so it deals a lot of damage for its cost. But, you know, I wouldn't put it into a Gosar deck, of course, because it has no melee attack. Over here we have the Biophagus. This is actually really good simply because of its trait. Medicae has become a very powerful ability. It heals your units on deployment, and obviously you want to use it with your highest health Tyranids. It'll heal them up 8% there. It's quite a bit. And then the rest of the cards down here are pretty much just fodder cards. Filler thing. If you have extra points in your deck, you can put them in. They're all very cheap, low-cost cards. And I don't know, none of them really stand out as amazing. So, I don't know, I think, yeah, I mean, a lot of them are kind of interchangeable. So, I did skip over quite a few cards here, but the ones that I talked about were the ones that I've used the most and have found to be useful, at least in my own experience. So, if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And that's the Tyranids for you. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.